Pour cette interview, nous avons le plaisir de recevoir David Kellie, le CEO du NDC, le Natural Diamond Council, ici à Paris. Il est venu de New York, il nous fait le plaisir de sa présence. David, good morning.
Good morning.
So, tell us a little bit about the Natural Diamond Council, the mission, what it stands for, because diamond is a subject that is not very known to the public, it seems, and so they need a little bit of guidance, let's say, to apprehend the subject.
Yes, I think everybody knows diamonds. I think I'm yet to meet anybody in the world that doesn't know what diamonds are, particularly in jewellery and worn on the red carpet. And so diamonds themselves are very well known, but what many people don't understand is the origins of diamond. So our role as the Natural Diamond Council is to help explain and people understand what it is about the diamond, the natural diamond, what it is about the diamond industry that results in this beautiful gem that most people see in jewellery.
Very well. So talking about the industry, as you said, what are the numbers, the big numbers of the industry today? How many carats are extracted today? Where are they extracted? Versus, and this is going to be a subject today, because we see that there is a lot of synthetic diamonds as well on the market, and we'd like to understand, which is which. What are the proportions of the industry here?
Yes, so, well, firstly, synthetic diamonds don't report as an overall industry, so I can't specifically speak to the numbers of synthetic diamonds, but for natural diamonds, around just over 100 million carats a year are recovered. So it's, that number's been declining for the last 10 to 15 years, so it's a constantly declining number. Forecasted diamonds are forecasted to come to an end, natural diamond recovery, in the next 30 to 50 years. So it's a finite resource that is slowly being depleted.
So what you're saying is that we have reached the peak of extraction somewhere around 2015?
Yeah, somewhere around there, probably before there was peak extraction.
Right.
Large mines are now reaching their end of life. So for example, there was a major mine in Australia called Argyle that closed just over 2 years ago, and that was about 8% of the world's production of diamonds. And there are no new deposits that have been found in a number of years. So although there's exploration always happening, there have been no new major deposits. So that's why I think the industry, is confident in its forecast that the recovery of diamonds will come to an end somewhere in the next 30 to 50 years.
So we have less and less natural diamonds potentially on the market.
Yeah.
And yet we see the brands that are advertising them or putting diamonds at the heart of their strategy, and I'm talking about watch brands here. We see that the importance of diamond, watches with diamond, is taking a more and more significant place for some big brands. So how are we going to cope with this? How's the interaction between an organization like yours, an industry like yours, the natural diamond, and the brands?
Yes, the brands and their clients obviously appreciate the rarity and individuality of diamonds. Interestingly, in the watch market, diamonds have become much more prevalent in men's watches. So up until the last few years, diamonds were frequently used in ladies' watches, but now in men's watches we're seeing a lot of natural diamonds as well. So yes, but it's like all scarce resources. It's something that can't be produced. It's something that can only be recovered, and that over time, cultures will evolve, but they will become more scarce, and therefore they'll become more valuable.
So, and this was going to be my next question: where are the prices of natural diamond going to head at? Because less and less, meaning price is going to be up and up.
Yes, that would be the natural conclusion from it all. So we can only look at the here and the now and say, well, look, what are the likely impacts on that? So again, working on the fundamental rules of economics, that as the supply becomes more scarce, that price will go up. That's what we are anticipating. That's also been proved over the last 30 years. Prices in the short term have always been cyclical, like any scarce commodity. But over the long term, diamonds have always been shown to appreciate in value. So it's why we anticipate that trend continuing.
Very well. Keeping in mind this value versus price, how does the natural diamond compare to synthetic diamonds?
Yeah, so synthetic diamonds over the last 4 years have declined in price between 80 and 90% at retail. So they've undergone a significant reduction in price. And that follows the pattern of all technological materials. As the technology evolves, as the capacity increases, as more entrants come into the market, as the market becomes more sophisticated, every technology over a period of time, gets considerably cheaper. And that's exactly what we anticipated with lab-grown diamonds. That's exactly what has happened. So I think now that consumers really understand that something that is made in a factory that can be produced at huge scale, that each one is a copy of another one, is a very different proposition from a natural diamond. A natural diamond is created, or was created billions of years ago, deep beneath the Earth's crust. It's an incredible coincidence of nature. It was heat and pressure that created them, followed by volcanic eruptions that brought them to the surface that enabled us to recover them. So it means that each one is individual and unique, and that's very different from a product that is created to order in a factory. You can pretty much in a factory say however many I want of what type of diamond and what size, that can be done. So I think with now the significant price differential between lab-grown diamonds, synthetic diamonds, natural diamonds, that the consumers now understand that these are very different propositions and what the values of each are.
Very well. So, taking this into account, we've seen the oil companies moving from carbon energy and investing into alternative energies, wind, solar, you name it, because we've reached a peak for oil extraction and they have to find other outcomes. What would be, for the industry of diamond, the next move if we're coming to the end of diamond extraction?
Yeah. So the parts of the industry that we're most impacted will be the countries from which diamonds are recovered. So if I give you the example of Botswana, a third of the GDP of Botswana comes from natural diamonds, 2/3 of their foreign currency. So it's incredibly important to their economy, and as you rightly point out, that what comes next, because if it's such an important part of your economy, you have to anticipate when that situation is no longer there. And what all of these producer countries are doing exactly that, and saying, how can we develop skills? How can we develop industries probably related to the original industry? But transfer those skills and make them, have utility for years to come. So for example, in Botswana is the manufacture of jewelry. We'll always be able to produce jewelry, so is that a part to play afterwards? It might surprise you, but technology is a major part of this industry. The actual diamond industry is a very technical industry. There's a lot of technical know-how, and so engineering and IT and AI and those areas are areas where the skills developed within the diamond industry can be transferable. Even the roles of marketing and communication is to say, okay, well look, in the future, how are we going to become a hub for marketing and communication? I was in Botswana and meeting with them and producing content, producing TV shows, etc., So it's very interesting speaking with these governments who have a very strong awareness of how do we use the benefit of this natural resource to make sure that we are empowering our people for generations to come, and that we don't waste this opportunity.
Absolutely. And this is, I mean, the sustainability part in the whole diamond industry is vital, especially for these countries who rely vastly on the diamond industry.
Yeah.
And again, people often have this question of how sustainable is a diamond, because we all have, you know, different backgrounds and different images in our heads relating to diamonds, beyond the fact that it's a beautiful, shiny object. What's the sustainability strategy for the diamond industry, the natural diamond industry?
Yeah.
And how can we oppose this to the synthetic diamonds as well? Because there are, excuse me, David,
Yeah.
my question is
No.
I'm going to try not to lose you, but it's very often put, you know, in front of each other. Say, synthetic diamonds are more sustainable. It's probably questionable. What's your take on that?
So I would say to anybody, claims around sustainability are being made by everybody now. And it's very, very difficult for the consumer to understand which are legitimate and which aren't. And even, do you have the time to go and investigate the product that you're buying to ensure that loose claims around sustainability are made? And authorities in every country are trying to bring in laws that make sure that when people claim sustainability, that they are clearly justifying that claim through independent third-party research. So I would encourage everyone to not take it for granted when a sustainability claim is being made, particularly if it hasn't got any substantiation behind it. I would pretty much ignore it.
Yep.
What I would say for the natural diamond industry is that the sustainability has been at the heart of it from long before, when it became a buzzword and something to talk about. So this has been a key part of the industry for the last 2 or 3 decades. And a big reason why is, coming back to the countries where they're recovered from, diamonds have to leave a lasting impact in those countries. These natural resources belong to those countries. They don't belong to anybody else, they belong to those countries. And those countries have done an incredible job of ensuring that they create a positive impact. So for example, 80% of the value of a rough diamond typically stays within that country, through tax, through royalties, through sourcing, through joint ventures, through all sorts of financial mechanisms. That money stays within the country. And so what the impact of diamonds on these countries, as I mentioned earlier on, is absolutely significant. On the people of these countries, it's significant. It gives the people of Botswana free education. It builds roads, it builds hospitals, it builds an infrastructure that then empowers people. So sustainability a lot of the time is used in the term of not damaging the world, the planet, the environment. But in the case of natural diamonds, there are many examples where actually it's a significant positive impact, which generally you don't get in man-made products, because the only stakeholders that seek to gain are the shareholders. That's how commerce and business works.
Indeed.
But genuinely, where you have responsible practices in mineral recovery, managed properly, it can have a huge positive impact in these countries.
And we're going to stay on this very positive note. We'll have to stop here for this interview. Thank you very much, David, for being here today with us. And thank you for the tips that many people are going to use, because it's Christmas season after all.
Great. Well, it's been a pleasure.
Thank you very much, David. See you soon.
Thank you.